Here's some of the best writing advice I ever received. Hi, my name is Rachel Higginson. I've been publishing since 2011. I've published 50 books in 15 years, and here is some advice I picked up along the way. Every story needs more plot. This is coming from my New York agent who is wise in all things, even when I don't want to listen to her. Most of the time, I zero in on making sure there aren't plot holes, and she is always pushing me to add to the story, to make it bigger, to make it fuller, to make it more complicated. Yes, obviously, fill in the plot holes and make sure everything is tied up at the end, but most stories don't suffer from too much plot. They suffer from too little. I'm sure you're thinking about all the stories you've read right now that are like way too much plot. That's not always true. And yes, you're right. But usually I find that when I'm writing something like truly, I can make it more interesting, deeper, go further, make it weirder. As my husband always says, more plot is always better. Publish as often, as frequently, as everywhere as you can. This I read early in my career. I think before I had even published anything officially. It was in a blog. I'm trying to think of who the author was. They were successful and they remained successful. Melissa De La Cruz, that's who it was. She said to just, if you want to be a professional writer, you have to professionally write. So publish everywhere you can. Magazines, the newspaper, blogs, books, whatever it is, publish often and get used to it and get used to the editing process, get used to deadlines. Every time you publish something professionally, you get better and better and better. I immediately started a blog when I was trying to publish the first time. And even though I wouldn't consider that exactly professional, it really did hone my writing skills, taught me to write concisely, efficiently, and to self-edit before it even goes to an editor. Later in my career, I wrote for my local newspaper. I was part of a parenting blog, and my blogging skills from all those years before, just fed into this actual professional writing style that I ended up loving with my whole heart. The third and final piece of advice that I'm going to share is from my editor, who says just because a sentence is beautiful doesn't mean it belongs in the story. This is a little like Stephen King, who said, kill your darlings. Sometimes our darlings are really well-crafted paragraphs. The point is, just because you wrote it doesn't mean that it belongs in the manuscript. Be willing to cut out the fat and make it the best manuscript you can.